Hey everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here with another Spidey Vlog. Spidey Vlogs are basically my weekly vlogs where I talk about anything comic book related, whether it's something I heard in the news or if it's topics suggested by you, the viewers. For this week I want to talk about a rumor that's going around that Sony is in negotiations with Marvel over a deal to feature Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right now this news was released by Entertainment Weekly. So far it really hasn't been confirmed, but it is speculating that Sony would feature Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe. And need I remind you though that that apparently they were going to feature, originally the Avengers skyline of New York City was going to feature the Oscorp skyscraper that we see in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but it wasn't the design wasn't finished yet, so they decided not to use it. Personally, I think it would be awesome if Spider-Man was an Avenger. I would love to see him basically on the same team with Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, going up against Thanos, or whatever big bad's going to be next for the Avengers. However, there are a number of factors that would definitely prevent this from happening. Number one, of course, being Sony themselves having the film rights. Basically, Sony has to make a Spider-Man movie every few years, or at least begin production on a new Spider-Man film because every few years, in order to keep the film rights. And Sony definitely does not want to lose those rights, because Spider-Man is a popular character. He's obviously a big deal for them. Sony has made a lot. There's no denying that Sony has made a lot of money off of all the Spider-Man movies, and not just the Amazing ones, but also the Sam Raimi films as well. I really think, and also that's kind of the reason why we got that whole, what some people call a rushed reboot with the Amazing Spider-Man. That Fox, it's just like what happened with Fox and Daredevil. They didn't have a Daredevil plan ready, and that's why they lost the rights. Why the rights went back to Marvel. However, though, Sony does apparently is thinking things through. They already have 2 more Spider-Man movies lined up: The Sinister Six for 2016 and Amazing Spider-Man 3 for 2018. And this brings me to my next factor, the Sinister Six movie. Basically, I think Sony keeping Spider-Man's rights all depend on the Sinister Six movie, because, like I said, they're obviously going to feature Spider-Man in some way. Granted, he probably won't be the focus of the film, but he will be involved in some way. Maybe like a cameo or something, or maybe at the last minute, or maybe in the final scene, the Sinister Six decide to attack Spider-Man or something like that. But really, the Sinister Six movie it depends on whether or not the Sinister Six movie does well. Because if it bombs, then that's it. I think Sony might be willing to negotiate some deal with Marvel, and also things aren't really. Also, Sinister Six was one of 2 Spider-Man spin-offs planned by Sony. Unfortunately, and just recently I heard that the Venom movie is apparently being delayed, or it's no longer being developed. So obviously a lot's going to be riding on Sinister Six. Do I feel like this is enough to support? And that's something that troubles me, because when I heard the announcement of Sinister Six, honestly, my opinion of Sinister Six really hasn't changed, because I don't think it does sound like something that could work on paper, but I mean, I feel like the Sinister Six might be considered Amazing Spider-Man 2.5. Like, basically, I remember in Amazing Spider-Man, the comic book series, when they were building up the Sinister Six for Doc Ock's plan when he was going to deplete the ozone layer and ends of the Earth. The Sinister Six kept appearing in several backup stories and tie-in issues to other comics, and I feel like they're trying to do the same thing, those types of stories, with this movie, and I get the feeling like it's not going to work, and a lot of people hearing this news are probably just not going to go to the movie altogether, just so the movie fails, and Sony will have no choice but to reach a deal with Marvel Studios. And also, if Marvel does get the rights back to Spider-Man, what exactly are they going to do? Because if Sinister Six does fail, then it's possible Marvel could, because Amazing Spider-Man 3 is supposed to come out 2 years after that, in 2018. So I think Spider-Man, so if Sinister Six fails, it's possible Spider-Man 3 could get canceled, or it's going to be completely taken over by Marvel. And that brings me to something else. What exactly is Marvel going to do with Spider-Man? Because it could take a while for them to actually get the wall crawler on film again. Marvel already has a ton of projects lined up. They have movies planned up until 2019. So if they do have to be in charge of the next Spider-Man film, what exactly will they do? Will they continue Amazing Spider-Man? Will they be responsible for Amazing Spider-Man 3? Or are they just going to cancel it, then reboot it their way? Because if they go, because either route, we may not see another Spider-Man solo film until 2020. Now, don't get me wrong, it's possible he could appear in another event in the Avengers movie. I just don't feel like we're going to see another solo Spider-Man film until like maybe, I guess, phase 3 or 4, I guess. And overall, though, I think Sony is the one who needs Spider-Man a lot more than Marvel, because while Spider-Man is great and a lot of people do want to see Spider-Man on the Avengers, Sony's definitely isn't going to let Spider-Man go that easy. Okay, they are definitely planning stuff. They really do not want to lose the rights to this character. And Marvel already has a lot of characters. And like I said, films planned until 2019. They've got a Doctor Strange film, Ant-Man, Black Panther. Heck, they can even have Miss Marvel in the next Avengers 3. And I think that really they do not need Spider-Man, but it would help them in a way. but it would definitely help them. So in all honesty, I guess I really do not. So I guess in a way I do want Spider-Man as an Avenger, and I don't really have a lot of, and I personally, as much as I try to remain neutral about movies, especially comic book movies, until I actually see footage or at least some decent pics, I really do not feel like Sinister Six may do its job in restarting the Spider-Man franchise, because it's not going to really be a Spider-Man focused movie. It's going to be focused on the villains. And if it does fail, which I think a lot of people do want to happen, then it's still definitely going to be it would still be a while until we see a Marvel Spider-Man. So yeah, overall, no matter, really, this could just all be a rumor. Okay, again, I just want to remind everyone that this is all speculation. It's just a rumor. But if it does turn out to be true, then Sony is definitely going to have to work hard in order to get people to get enough positive reception, enough box office ones in order to keep Spider-Man. Although really, I think overall, I didn't really have a lot of problems with Amazing Spider-Man 2, because honestly, I did like it. I mean, it isn't the best Spider-Man movie, but I enjoyed it, and I thought Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man. So I feel like Sony is doing something right, but it could all go wrong with this next movie. And if Marvel does end up taking over the Amazing Spider-Man film franchise, well, I still hope Andrew Garfield gets to be Spider-Man, because I really like him a lot more than Tobey Maguire, to be honest. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Sony, what could happen with Sony beating Marvel, making a deal with Marvel over Spider-Man. What do you guys think? Do you really hope that Spider-Man gets to be part of the Avengers? What do you guys Also, if you have any other topics you'd want me to do for another Spidey Vlog, say so in the comments. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, whether you're an old subscriber or a new subscriber. I appreciate your support. I'm Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.